Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. This is the Township of Springfield's Board of Adjustment meeting for September 16th, 2025. The time is 6:13. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the Sunshine Law. Notice was published on January 2nd in the local source, one of the official newspapers for the Township of Springfield for the year 2024 and 2025, and posted in the Annex Building on January 2nd, 2025. Can we stand to salute the flag? May we please have the roll call?
Mr. Stephen Hochstein?
Here.
Mr. Michael Webstein? Mr. Stephen Kirschenbaum? Ms. Marla Naparano? Mr. Peter Schewitz? Ms. Anika Dotson?
Here.
Mr. Randy Perlman?
Here.
Vice Chair Mark Cunningham?
Here.
And Chairwoman Jody Cohen.
Here. Thank you very much. All right, the first order of business is resolutions to be memorialized. The first resolution that is up for consideration is for application 2025-10, 10 Bernadette Court, Block 3201, Lot 18. Has every member had an opportunity to review the resolution? Are there any questions, comments? If there are none, is there a motion?
Second. Oh, very good.
Mr. Schewitz? Ms. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Hochstein?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschenbaum?
Yes.
Mr. Perlman?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cunningham? That's the meeting that you watched.
Oh, yes, okay, yes. Yeah.
Chairwoman Cohen.
Yes.
For the record, Mr. Michael Wexstein and Ms. Marla Naparano have arrived at 6:15.
Thank you, welcome. The second resolution on for memorialization is application 2025-17, 42 Lions Place, Block 3503, Lot 9. Has every member had an opportunity to review? Are there any questions or comments? None. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Kirschenbaum? Mr. Hochstein?
Yes.
Mr. Wexstein?
Yes.
Ms. Naparano? Mr. Schewitz? Vice Chair Cunningham?
Yes.
And Chairwoman Cohen.
Yes. Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to the application. So the first application that was on this evening was application 2025-19. This was 80 Adams Terrace, Block 3001, Lot 2. The applicant has requested to carry to our October 21st, 2025 meeting. I'll need a motion.
I'll move.
Chair,
Yes.
just for the record, the meeting was noticed by this applicant. It's being carried. There'll be no further notice required, either publication or the 200-foot list. So anyone in the audience who is here for the Ferrera matter will not be heard tonight, but it will be carried to the October 21st meeting without further notice. Thank you, Chair.
Which will be held here. Thank you. Okay, we had a motion and a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Hochstein?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cunningham?
Yes.
Mr. Wexstein?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschenbaum? Ms. Naparano? Mr. Schewitz? And Chair Cohen.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, the next application we're gonna call upon is application 2025-15. This is for a request for lot coverage variance approval for 147 Newbrook Lane, Block 3001, Lot 23. Is the applicant here this evening? Hi. Wanna come on up? Sure. Okay, great. I saw before you came up here that you were in conversations. Were you able to answer your questions? Do you need more time to talk before?
I got a little bit more clarity with Michael.
Okay.
And hopefully we're a little bit more in sync with what's going on the property.
All right, so we're gonna swear you in.
Swear me in.
Excellent.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, provide your home address.
Stephen Schwartz, 147 Newbrook Lane, Springfield, New Jersey, 07081.
Thank you.
Okay, let's walk us through the plan and what you're looking to do and your reasons for doing so.
Okay, so let's start with the reasons. We had a few things going on with the house. We filed for a permit to redo the roofing system, which ended up being a solar system and a roofing system combined. Our roof was leaking. When we combined those efforts, we decided to do the siding as well. And understanding that my wife was recently diagnosed with cancer in January, I felt that she needed more outdoor seating space around the house because she's restricted to the house. So I wanted to increase the front patio of the frontage of the house, understanding that she also had the backyard, but she's restricted to the house. So there's only so much that we could do. So I decided to extend the frontage of the home, well, not the home, the patio and the steps. I did a design by myself, thinking that this was going to be a simple replacement. Unfortunately, it was not exact replacement. I'm expanding the square footage of the front steps and the patio by 214 square feet.
Okay, which results in,
14 square feet over the 200 limit.
Part of the
okay,
reason they're here. The
Right.
patio was installed in the rear without any permits, purview, and that also adds lot.
Sure. Back in 2022, I moved in 2021. In 2022, I installed a patio in the backyard without a permit. The patio sits 18 to 20 inches below grade of my neighboring properties. When this was discussed with the town, Michael recommended, or the town recommended, that I had a storm water mitigation plan for the patio that was installed, which the design should be there in your packet. But a topography, I discussed this with Michael, that it would be very helpful if the town also recognized that there was a topography associated with this design where it shows that the patio is sunken into the ground, and it's not just at the linear planarity of my neighbor's properties. It's actually, there's a retaining wall around it, and the two properties that are surrounding us in the back, there's absolutely no way that this water is coming from this small patio that's in our backyard to our neighboring properties, when I'm 70 feet to the neighboring property, to my east. And I'm lower elevation between the southern property and the property to the west.
Chair, just for the record, we're going to mark this A1.
yep,
I do have a water retainage that I built myself. It's 18 inches deep, it's 12 inches wide, it's 24 inches long as the patio. It's complete with Riverstone to capture any runoff that would come from there. But again, this water is going into the earth before it's going anywhere else. I'm also constantly aerating my lawn, etc. Proper function of water retainage in your lawn.
okay, so I think I just need a little bit of clarification.
Sure.
So the patio was installed back in 2022,
Two.
and then you put in mitigation efforts?
No, it's always been there.
Okay. The increase that is being requested now would result in the need for additional mitigation efforts.
Yes.
And what you're speaking to with respect to the water retention, that is currently on the property and that is satisfactory for, no. Okay.
Well, let's separate both topics. You have the backyard, we have the front yard.
Okay,
So I hired an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
ARC, to get involved. They came and did a site visit, and they wrote an opinion letter that, here's the letter, I think everybody has it. But that's not satisfactory to Michael. But after speaking with Michael just now, we're we're closer to getting a solution, understanding that the topography of the backyard is lower in elevation and sunken into the dirt, and that I'm that far away from my neighbor's properties, I think we should treat the two as two independent subjects, because the frontage, I'm expanding by 214 square feet additional. Michael expressed to me that if it was 200 square feet, then we wouldn't really, what was the exact verbiage?
Well, 200 square feet total is the threshold at which underneath that is not required. Board can still request it and has on other times, but we're losing sight of the fact that it is a variance here for lot coverage, 41.6% when 27% is permitted.
Right.
Normally, the board, the mitigation to support the variance is that you provide the stormwater mitigation.
So that, actually, thank you, triggers my second question that I had. When you're looking at the chart, the existing at 34.4, is that the existing with the patio in the back, or is that the existing with the house, and now we are increasing with the front and the back 241 from 34?
Patio is not reflected in the existing because we're looking at the pre-existing patio. So the patio is included in the lot coverage request because it wasn't permitted by anybody.
Understood, thank you.
Well, there was two decks. Decks don't count to lot coverage. The house and the front, the driveway and the front walkway, essentially.
Existing front walkway and foundation to the front steps, and we're expanding by 214 square feet in the front. And in fact, it's less than that because I have pictures showing the foundation of the footings of the front deck, which are bigger than that. So it's less than 200 square feet if we really wanted to go out and measure it. Because now you have the footings that are exposed from the dirt when we dug out the dirt, which are wider than the deck.
I have a question. As our expert, would you recommend that they do a stormwater management plan for this increase in overage?
So the chart has actually delta lot coverage of 945 square feet. Tonight, I was shown something that quantifies it at 776. So I haven't even had the opportunity to distinguish between the 945 and the, is it 776? 776. Obviously, the patio dimensions are measurable and can be refined, so my hunch is that the discrepancy is probably rooted in the front of the house. Just seems, more evident that way.
Would you recommend that we carry this until you get this quantified in a program? How do we do this?
It's hard for us to make a determination if we don't have the actual percentages and the amount of coverage that you're seeking.
I understand, yeah.
When this process started, I wasn't even measuring the footings underneath the front patio, and now they're exposed from the dirt. I mean, it's even less, but, I'm here to work it out, right? Figure it out. What do we have to do? But according to the plan as it exists, if we were to divide the two, the front steps are 214 square feet larger than the 200. I understand you're talking about total lot coverage, but if we were talking about independently, we're talking about 214 square feet, additional square feet on the patio.
That's big. That's the size of a one-car garage. That's a fair amount of space.
Well, what I said to Mr. Schwartz and what I could say, I cannot agree with the ARC two-line paragraph that nothing needs to be done. It's unacceptable. So I can't tell this board I'm okay with that. If you felt comfortable at the lot coverage level, we haven't really heard about that yet, but if you felt comfortable, it could always be a condition, or you're perfectly within your rights to say, we need some fine-tuning of this And maybe the answer is, you know, beneficial to Mr. Schwartz to wait. I don't know, but.
Is there a detail of the existing water management system that you have within the?
I could detail it, I don't have it here, but I have, well, there is a detail for the back patio, yes, it's here.
Which,
It's right there. If you want to see a picture of it, I can show you a picture of it.
Is it something that's part of the record that you're pointing to?
What? I don't know. Not, I mean, you don't have record of it, but if you guys want to see the river stone that I have.
This is, but you did this and
Yeah.
yourself, and it was never like checked or anything?
Yeah.
What's, right.
Right, I'm just showing you, there's a line here of 18 inches of river stone that's lining it, but again, I'm 70 feet from my neighbor's property. I'm lower elevation than all the other properties. It's not magically lifting 18 inches and going to my other neighbor's properties. It's sinking into the earth. That's 70 feet away from my nearest fence, not even the property. The house is at least 150 feet away. I understand.
it's been,
I can't bring up other people's properties, but my neighbor behind me has, you know, a lot more coverage than I have right now with a pool. But it is what it is.
Chair, could I just
Yes, please,
clarify
Bruce.
one? Mike, the, you have the plans what the front yard setback is proposed, because it's not in the zoning information chart.
The plan dimensions the house at 30 feet, 11 inches, and 31 feet.
And the
The
proposed.
steps, though, certainly look like they're encroaching into the front yard setback, since there's only 1 foot available.
But they are, I'm gonna interject, they are 2 feet closer to the house than existing boulders that have been on the property since the property was built in 83.
Boulders don't count.
I understand, but those
the-
boulders are closer to
The
the
proposed front stoop
Yeah.
is how far from the front property line?
I have that on one of the documents in the application, I think.
There's another
12,
partial survey that showed the wood porch, looks like it was 9 feet from the house.
looks to be 12, looks to be about 18, 19 feet.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but that would require a front yard setback variance as well.
Yes.
Required is 30 feet. So again, your zoning information chart has what required is, it doesn't have the existing or the proposed in here. The board doesn't have that information to determine.
Yeah, I indicated the variance was needed, but it wasn't quantified. I mean, if I can't determine it, I can't, put it in there.
I have a picture that shows how many more feet the patio is to the, it's in your packet, it should be in your packet. It's a
But
bird's eye view showing how much larger the patio is than the old,
Sir, respectfully,
yes.
you need a measurement that tells the board what the distance from your front property line is to where your front,
I have
what
it.
you're building.
You have it.
Well, but it's not in the chart, so I need you to,
It's in your
Tell-
packet, it's right here.
Anyone know that?
what is the number? I need it from your mouth. Because understand, whatever distance you're asking for, if the board approves it, you can't go beyond that.
18 inches, 18 feet, 9 inches.
Thank you, thank you. So the proposed front yard setback is 18 feet, 9 inches. Is that correct? You have to say all that.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm not sure that we have enough information to make a determination at this point.
There is Mr. Herbert's denial in June, saying the application needs variances for lot coverage and front yard setback, so. Also, it says also requires stormwater mitigation system.
In my opinion, which is 214 square feet additional in the front. And just mind you, the topography of my property to the street. It's draining into the street.
The denial says 1,500 square feet.
Right.
The 1,300 square feet from the backyard.
Numbers flying all over the place tonight, so.
I saw that.
So, sir, you have that letter from
Did
him
you and
in
Marla
June
go there
where it
and,
says you violated the lot coverage by 1,500 square feet.
well,
Is
I
that,
think-
if you're saying you're only doing
It is not. I don't know where he got that number from.
did you follow up with him?
I did. That's when I got introduced to Jennifer and we went through the process of getting all this organized.
I would recommend that we carry this application for you to do a calculation of what existed, what you are proposing to be added, and then perhaps speak with the engineer about what that means in terms of stormwater management and what you'd be proposing on your property in order to handle and mitigate the stormwater runoff onto the property. That would be my recommendation.
So we have existing, we have proposed, and my engineer, a third-party engineer's document that you have. And when you say engineer with Michael,
Yes.
I'll work with Michael and we'll try to figure it out together.
And I think you need to come in with it, the whole thing coming in, don't separate it, because I understand what you're saying about variation in depth, et cetera. However, it's lot coverage. Like, there's no, that's a lot coverage, you're going over what's your plan, end of story. Because otherwise, you're better off that way. Just go in saying, these are the changes I made, this is my proposal in the front, this is why, this is my water mitigation plan, let's move forward.
But topography has a big part of that. Absolute engineered calculation part of that.
Sure, you can choose to move forward however you'd like. I'm simply providing an opinion.
Okay, do we have a motion to carry this to October 21st? Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Shiwitz?
Yes.
Ms. Nacarano?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Wexstein?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschenbaum?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cunningham? Yes. And Chair Coe?
Yes.
For the public's information, there'll be no further notice. This matter will be carried to the October 21st meeting at 6 PM in this location. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you. Okay, appreciate it, thank you, Michael.
Okay, the next application that we're gonna call is application 2025-20. This is for 27 Little Brook Road, block 3201, lot 8, a request for a rear yard setback variance for a deck. Is the applicant here? Yes.
He's gonna do most of the talking, that's why.
So, my wife and I,
We're gonna,
Oh, swear in first.
it's just you
Oh,
two as
oh,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
applicants.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so
Yeah, yeah.
our attorney, Mr. Bergen, is gonna swear you both in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
yes,
Please state each of your names, spell the last name, and give us your home address.
Janeri Tewksbury, Tewksbury, 27 Little Brook Road, Springfield, New Jersey, 77081.
Thank you.
Thomas Tewksbury, Tewksbury, and 27 Little Brook Road, 07081.
Thank you.
Okay, let's walk through your request, and your plan, and what you're looking to do.
Oh, okay, great. So, this is it's actually a reauthorization of a previously granted rear yard setback variance, for our property. Prior testimony, it needed a C1 and C2 provision variance, and we actually had it approved back in December of 2020, and nothing really has changed since that time. But we ran into, during the COVID time after this was approved, we ran into supply chain issues, we ran into skyrocketing costs for material and construction, and we just felt it was unaffordable to continue with it at that time. What we were up against when we originally applied, and why we needed the variance, was our lots, kind of undersized, under our current zoning ordinance, and it's got a very narrow width. It makes it difficult to put a structure on, and then we're also dealing with a county easement, which limits usable space and design flexibility. The basic, we really don't have a reasonable alternative for this based on those constraints. And then moving towards the C2 aspect of the variance, we feel it's a 16 by 24 deck. It's going to be an efficient use of land, and it's going to be, visually matching, the neighborhood itself and the layout of the neighborhood, it's going to be more in harmony with the neighborhood, it puts us in a position to preserve the open space and enjoy the fact that we've got this beautiful forest preserve right behind us with family and friends. Really nothing has changed since the time that we originally applied. Anything that you'd like to add? We'd like your consideration on that.
Jack, let's go. I'm looking at your survey here, and where's the deck going here? And I'm looking at this survey here.
The deck is, if you look at the top part, the deck is going at the back there. The top part of the paper.
On which page? On the second page?
Can I ask the witness to please speak up?
Say it again?
Said, can I ask the witness, your wife,
Okay.
to please speak in front of the microphone?
Yeah.
It's right here where I'm pointing, where it says porch steps. There's existing steps. Right here.
For the board, we have in the packets the previous application and approval, application 2020-18. It shows the survey with a red line on it. At that time, it was 32 feet by 16 feet, now being requested. When something doesn't get started on the variance after a year, it extinguishes. So they're back for the same relief that they had in 2020, presumably. It sounds like the deck's even smaller now. I heard 24. That's what the architectural drawing, although there's no title block on it, but dimensionally, it's 24 by 16. So it's the same relief, but smaller than what it was before. Setback for the rear yard now is 30, the house is right up against the setback line. There's no home behind it, other than Mr. Bergen's Union County parkland there. Does that help?
Yes.
I have a question. Did you do these drawings?
No, we had an architect do that.
Because there's no name or sign or.
Yeah, he said there's no sign over there.
So, you know that for the purposes of applying for a permit, they have to be signed and sealed by an architect, correct?
Oh, I didn't know.
Did not know that.
Our contractor did this. He had his architect do it.
Okay, just so you know that. 'cause
Yeah, we could
they should
provide
be
that.
Signed and sealed by an architect.
Okay.
So do you want the are you looking for the same size, or do you want to go smaller than you did in 2020?
Initially, we're looking for the same size, but then there's something about being 20 feet, it has to be 20 feet between our neighbors and ours, and our property line. So we have to reduce the size of the deck.
These plans were actually approved, but then it was discovered that we had this variance that needed to be, reapproved.
No, I mean, in the resolution you have from 2020, it's
Right.
30.
32, now it's 24.
So are you looking for the 24, or are you looking for the 32?
24.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, any questions from the public? We're not there yet, but I will get there. Any member of the public have any questions for what the applicants have testified to? Okay, now I will open it up to members of the public that wish to speak on the application. Come on up. We're gonna swear you in?
You swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, give us your home address.
Name is Jason Kassler, K-A-S as in Sam, L-E-R. My address is 34 Little Brook Road. I'm directly across from them. I'm also a professional planner. I don't want to belabor the point. They are seeking a smaller reduction in the size of their deck that you guys granted back when we were doing Zoom. So I'm just here to say that I'm in support of this application. They're doing great stuff with their house. I look at their house every morning, and they're constantly upgrading it, and they're doing a great thing to the neighborhood. And I would please consider the board recommend approval for this application.
Thank you very much. Any other member of the public wish to speak on this application? None. I'm in favor of granting the application. It's an irregular sized lot. We granted it previously. It's smaller than we granted previously. For those reasons, is there anyone in agreement? And if so, is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Hochstein?
Yes.
Mr. Wexstein?
Yes.
Mr. Furstenbaum?
Yes.
Ms. Naparano?
Yes.
Mr. Jewett?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cunningham?
Yes.
And Chair Cohen?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The next application on this evening is application 2025-21, 60 Golf Oval, block 1703, lot 15. This is a request for a lot coverage variance. Is the applicant here? Good evening, come on up. Just you this evening testifying?
I would say, unfortunately, yes. I'm actually coming here straight from the hospital because my wife had surgery today. So the good news is I just found out she's being discharged on my way down here. But
Excellent.
I'm
That's
representing
great
alone
news.
in that case. What?
That's great news, but you were
It
not
is great
there,
news,
so,
but that-
yeah.
You have to balance.
Yes, okay.
So my
Well,
sister-in-law's
let's
up
try
there,
to get
my
you
mother-in-law's
through
and my
this.
kids, and I'm here.
Yeah, so you can get home to your wife.
That is the goal.
Please raise your right hand.
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I affirm to tell the truth, yes.
Please state your name, spell your last name, give us your home address.
My name is Benjamin Beer, B-E-N-J-A-M-I-N, B-E-E-R. Address is 60 Golf Oval, Springfield, New Jersey, 07081.
Thank you.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what you're proposing to do.
Okay. Just can I ask a question first? Like, do you want me to reiterate this? Has everyone read this? I will reiterate. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, we'll just put it on the record.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. So I am respectfully requesting a zoning variance to allow the installation of a swimming pool in our backyard of our residence. Part of the reason it's touching on aspects of religious, communal, professional, and health-related conditions, being that I am very blessed and privileged to be empowered to be the principal of a Jewish day school in our local region, as well as I've previously been one of the communal rabbis in Springfield. And in that capacity, it does limit my ability, both from religious norms as well as just what's considered appropriate within the standards and the people and the comfort of my family to be able to utilize whether it's public pools or environments of that sort. In addition, obviously in this capacity, in this role, it is a high-stress environment, both for myself and unfortunately my children and family living in a fishbowl as well. Pardon the pun. The idea being, and what I'm requesting, is the ability to install a pool in our backyard, which will allow us a little bit of that stress relief, a lot of that just fun, relaxing time with the family. We've got exercise. I know that this is only the first step in doing the exercise, but in being able to have this opportunity to enjoy the backyard and just family time together. Looking at the plans, in order to really make everything work, the house that we bought already was over on lot coverage, which meant that any additions was going to require some sort of a variance. In order to try to find a happy medium, we're actually removing decking in order to, a stone patio, to allow for us to put in this pool. So our end product is actually going to be less lot coverage than our original.
So you're looking at a reduction, I think it was like 44 and something percent down to like 39 and change?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great.
So I just request that this board, this esteemed board, would really take this into consideration and allow us to move forward with this process.
Any questions from the board?
What are the dimensions, you have dimensions for the pool here, 192 square feet,
The pool dimensions is 14 by 30.
14 by 30?
Yes, and everything fits so that there is a clear 15 feet from every property line and 10 feet from the house.
Is there a water mitigation plan
There-
that was not attached to
So
this?
in conversations with Mr. Disco, because we are removing some of the lot coverage, he said he didn't feel it was required to have water mitigation.
Let me just take it one step
Please.
further. I think I know the answer because I saw a shake of the head from Mr. Disco as I posed the question, but is that correct, that nothing need be done from a water mitigation?
That's correct. By definition, the pool does not count as a lot coverage element because it's perceived to be pervious, or water will fall to the pool level to the coping. The only new coverage is the coping around the pool, more than offset by the removal of the patio, as clarified on their survey. And if you need to see where the patio is, I prepared it in a Google Earth if you want to look at it, but it's there, so.
Thank you. You did well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So does-
I'm working off no sleep right now, so I really
Does he
appreciate it.
also need a setback or, no?
No, this zone requires 15-foot to the pool water surface from the property lines. He's achieved that.
Okay.
On the survey, I went through not through the zoning ordinance, but there's a separate pool ordinance, and so he's satisfied the requirements of that, which limits the amount in the rear yard area, the setbacks, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you.
My only other question was, I'm sorry, the pool equipment setback to 10 feet is acceptable on the side of the house?
Yeah, it's shown with a 10-foot dimension there.
So you mentioned he doesn't need a water mitigation plan. Since it was already above like lot coverage, was there already a water mitigation plan and he's just using the same one, or there's just no?
We don't know how they got to that lot coverage over time. If you look at the survey, you have the house, a driveway. My hunch is the driveway got widened over time, front walkway, and then the only other thing in the rear yard was the patio. Again, don't know when the patio was here. I mean, even in 2022 was there. I went back Google Earth. It looked like I saw it there prior to at least 2010. So I don't know when you moved into the house, but doesn't sound like the patio was a recent addition. So probably just over time, these things happen. But the substantial reduction of lot coverage now by removing the patio satisfies any fear that you're gonna have additional runoff here.
Have you ever had any experience, like any flooding or anything from all the storms and stuff that we've had recently?
No, not at all. We actually, again, we elevation-wise also, we have, our front house is very steep down, so there's that runoff that would go anywhere, if anywhere, to the street. But we haven't had, the simple answer is no. There's been no pooling, no flooding, nothing at all.
Thank you.
Had some pretty bad storms.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the fence types that you've got listed here. I see 6 feet high, so.
That's what we're aiming for.
Right.
The fence that we want to build is 6 feet high. Currently, what exists is a mixture of metal and wood. We had the unfortunate, I wouldn't say pleasure, of our neighbor's tree falling on our house, and it took out part of our fence. So as part of the replacement, trying to keep things going, and this is actually going to be an improvement in beautifying by having one consistent fence around the property.
What kind of, yeah, I was looking, you have a wood fence over here, you got a metal fence over here, you got a chain link fence over here. So I'm just curious as to what kind of fence you'd be putting up?
We haven't finalized yet, but we're, what are those, I don't know if it's gonna be white, but we want a fence that's not gonna be see-through, because obviously we're looking at it for modesty reasons, and so that we can maintain aspects of privacy.
Okay, I know what kind of fence you're thinking about.
Yes.
So your fence would be compliant with the ordinance?
It would, yes, with these ordinances, a clear fence could, but with my religious ordinances, it would not be.
Right. Well, we don't allow chain link fences anymore, so good that you're changing.
Any other questions from members of the board?
Yeah, there's one more, I'm sorry.
Yep, please.
So the fence, so the pool's gonna be enclosed by this solid, pretty much solid fence that you're putting up. And at the sides, you're gonna have gates, locked gates, so nobody can get in?
So there's gonna be, there's gonna be obviously property fence, and then there's gonna be a fence that we're putting in between house and pool, as in compliant with the Springfield ordinance.
Okay.
Any further questions? Okay. Members of the public, any questions for the applicant based on his testimony?
No questions, I can speak in support if you'd like.
We will get there in 1 minute. So any members of the public, questions? None? Okay. Well, now I will open it up to comments. Before you do so, we'll swear you in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Of course.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, give us your home address.
Michael Karp, K-A-R-P, 56 Golf Oval. I just wish to say that beers are, of course, excellent neighbors, and I'm in full support of what they're doing, if that adds any value.
Are you the adjacent property
Yes.
owner?
And there hasn't been water runoff.
That
No,
was gonna be my
we
next
have
question.
we have the same steep driveway. We have a sump pump. It's never gone on.
Great. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'm in favor of granting the relief that's been requested. I appreciate that you have done mitigation efforts to, or I shouldn't say, yes, to reduce the size of the lot coverage on the property by removing the patio. It doesn't seem like there will be any detriment to your neighbors, you know, indicated by your neighbor coming out and supporting. So I am in favor. If there's anyone in agreement and wants to make a motion, please do so.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you. Thanks.
Mr. Hochstein?
Yes.
Ms. Navarano? Mr. Wexstein?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschenbaum?
Yes.
Mr. Schewitz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cunningham?
Yes.
And Chair Collins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good luck. Okay. Before we call the next application, we are going to take a 5-minute break. It's 6:58. We'll see you back at 7:05. Thank you. Are we back on? Okay, so it's 7:08, we're back on the record, and we are going to bring up the final application this evening, which is a continuation from our August meeting, and this is application 2025-18 for 37 Church Mall, Block 207, Lot 23, site plan approval with a use variance. Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman. Stephen H. Merman, appearing on behalf of the applicant.
Nice to see you again.
It is my pleasure to be here this evening, and I've learned a couple of lessons tonight. I shouldn't talk so much. I think that the board already knows what this application is about. I have prepared a whole outline, which I am putting away, because what we've submitted here, and the board's already had an opportunity to review, what we have done is went back to the drawing board, took the testimony, took the application, solidified what the actual proposal is, and it is contained in this document, which was prepared not by myself, but by the members of the Share Alliance, in coordination with Bob Hudak, who is our planner. Bob had previously testified, provided the board with all the necessary special reasons, negative impact testimony with regard to the use variance. So tonight, we're basically here to answer additional questions from the board. Kristen Rubling Jazz, who previously had testified, is also here to answer any additional questions that the board may have based upon the submission. And
Can I just,
sure,
I don't believe, and I don't believe that the submission made it in within the 10 days.
that's correct.
So we do have to mark that.
That's fine.
It would be A3.
A3. Thank you. And now that we've marked it as A3, I'm going to indicate to the board we have no objections to any part of A3 being incorporated into the resolution. Those, in fact, are our words. Those are the parameters and the provisions that we have and the restrictions that we have agreed to and have placed upon ourselves as we go through the process. There's one issue that I wanted to bring to the board's attention, and certainly Ms. Jazz would be able to address it. I personally am not a member of the Share Alliance. However, there are many groups that are associated with the Share Alliance. During the course of their meetings and discussing, obviously, the proposal that we've submitted, discussion was had relative to the board's desire to limit the participation in this program to residents of Springfield. While the Share Alliance recognizes the board's desire and the municipality's desire to make sure that we are not overrun at this program, we do have a mission statement, and some members of the Share Alliance do not actually either reside in Springfield or have their locations in Springfield. So what we would suggest and propose that it be limited to members of Springfield, persons who reside here in Springfield, as well as to persons who are associated with the member organizations to the Share Alliance. Those members are from the greater Springfield area. In fact, some of the members that you have here today don't even reside in Springfield. They're over in neighboring Union. And that's one of the problems. You guys are so close to both Milburn, right, and to Union that it's kind of difficult to weed those two towns out because they are persons associated with the Share Alliance. So that's the one proviso that I would like to put out there, and we certainly are here to discuss that. And just for the record, I've asked the members of the Share Alliance who are present, I'm going to ask them to raise their hands so that the board knows who is here from the Share Alliance. We've asked them not to necessarily speak in favor of the application. We don't want to bore the board with that. We've provided the board all the required information that we believe is appropriate. And with that, I will be quiet and wait for any comments or questions that we need to answer.
So I think my first, sorry, yeah.
I'm sorry, just for the record, Vice Chair Cunningham was not present at the last hearing. He has signed an affidavit that he listened to the entire meeting, so he is participating tonight.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Vice Chairman.
yes, I was gonna ask for testimony
Oh, good.
on the, what associated with the members of Share Alliance means, but if you have an actual question first.
No, it was, that was where I was.
That's the
going,
question.
Population
Yeah.
size.
Right, then I am going to have to call back
Yep.
Kristen Rubling Jazz.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you? Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you all too.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, and you can use the business address of the Alliance.
Kristen Rubling Jass, RUEBLING-JASS, 37 Church Mall, Springfield.
All right, yes, you've heard the question posed by the chair.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to get an understanding of population-wise and location-wise, what it means, members or groups that are associated with members of the Share Alliance.
Right, so I mean, it means like, I mean, obviously it's housed in Springfield Presbyterian Church where all the members aren't living in Springfield. So I am one of those and I live in Union and there's other people from Union that are here tonight. And other congregations, you know, Residence Church, Antioch, you know, and we have like the Rotary Club, which has extended, I mean, it's a unit here, but it extends. But as we, you know, deal with getting food from somebody else, like the, you know, Union or the New Jersey Food Pantry, we get food from them. We don't know if we'll get ones from other, like Hillside, you know, the Hillside or Linden.
I think I'm looking more, or maybe correct me if I'm wrong, I'm looking more for the Share Alliance population size of your organization.
Well, right now, since we've been waiting to get this going, it's still fairly small. I mean, we have our board.
I thought this was part of the church.
The Share Alliance is sponsored
That's
by the
sponsored
church.
by the church.
So you don't exist in any size except for what you're like the small membership now?
There's a list of volunteers that we had that we were starting to gather to get ready to get this open. But we've been waiting 2 years to open, so, you know, it's hard to keep those kind of.
But what Ms. Urban said was that you would also look to, while you're limiting it, you would look to also allow groups associated with the members of Share Alliance. So that's also what I'm trying to understand.
Well, the groups associated would be the different congregations, right? It's a we are a separate entity from from Springfield, where we're Springfield Presbyterian Church, where we are centered and where we spearheaded it from.
So what are all the groups that are associated with Share Alliance, which would be part of this network? What is the population of those networks?
The greater Springfield area, we looked at it and we were gonna say Union County, but that, Union County doesn't cover it because Union County, we have Plainfield, we have Elizabeth. We're not looking to serve those populations that already are serviced. And we know that there is in Plainfield, we know there's Elizabeth. In fact, there was a gentleman at the last meeting who was associated with the Jewish organization in Elizabeth, who talked about their program.
Right.
The one thing about this program that's very unique in the proposal is that everything is done by appointment. So if someone from one of the organizations that is supporting the Share Alliance refers someone to the Share Alliance, that person would be given an appointment. She would be part of the process. There would be no special day for them. We already have indicated there's no lineups and the like. Even with the proposal to deliver to vehicles, there's all by appointment. So everything is going to, in fact, be taken care of. The interesting thing about this, as we were talking about it, sometimes it's going to be that somebody's going to contact us, and that person is not actually going to come here. But because they're associated with another part of the organization, they may actually make arrangements with that other organization to deliver the food through that spot. So these things are all up in the air as it goes on, as we have a living and breathing organization that we hope hope we'll reach a certain point, but as of right now, everything that we're doing is based upon knowing that the need is out there for this type of.
Right, because I look at this, the plan set forth, that it will address the needs of the Springfield community.
Absolutely.
That based on, within the restrictions of the hours and time limits that you put in there, that basically to expand it beyond that, even maybe just the parishioners of the church, it be more than the demand, the demand will grow greater than what.
But because of the limitations that we're putting on it, by way of the hours, the limitation by way of hours, the limitation requiring people to contact them ahead of time, register through their website, etc., we will not be adding any additional stress to this area. I mean, this area could be stressed with the new apartments and the like, and that's one of the reasons why the appointment model was proposed, because that allows the Share Alliance to control who's coming to the site for these services.
So a question about the appointments, twofold. One, how many appointments are you allowing per time slot? This is my first. And my second is, if the appointments are not fulfilled ahead of time, and say you have the food, and people start coming by the busload from the major bus hub there, how do you deter them? And like, I know I couldn't say to someone, no, sorry, we're not, like, there's the human factor there. That.
And here's the interesting part of this. Because of the way that it's being taken care of, there's going to be nothing. In Elizabeth, for example, at the church, big sign that says that they're going to be giving out lunches every Wednesday. It's a people are lining up to do it. We've seen it. Mr. Bergen and I have worked in Elizabeth for decades. We see it all the time. That's not how this is operating. This is operating with no signage. Only those people who are aware of the program will be served by the program. They're not going out and advertising. They may be advertising to the organizations. They may be letting Springfield know, obviously, that they have an excess of food if anybody is looking for it, so that Springfield Social Services can refer people over. But again, everything is going to be by the appointment model, so that we're able to control. I don't know how we're going to deal if that bus shows up, but I think that based upon the testimony that you heard before, that they would reject it, but they would still make arrangements to somehow serve those people, but not through the process and the program that we have right here. That's the flexibility of it. That's why they can, as I said, they can make arrangements through the other associated organizations for the delivery off-site, so it wouldn't be here.
And with regards to the number of people per appointment, what was it?
Honestly, I was not part of that conversation. I'm going to leave that.
In the documents that have been presented to you, that information, I mean, either this time or when we were here before, for every given time slot, between the 1 and 4, we had it divided where, it would be by hour, only so many cars per hour. I mean, you've got to be able to control that, and I think, if we had 50 people over, if we had 50 cars over 3 hours, that would be fantastic, right? And it might get to that point, and if it gets even better than that, that would be great, and that'll be something else.
So are you limiting the people that can register by appointment, or you just want them to, you want to know what to expect by the appointment?
Some of it is to know what to expect so that you have the bags ready, so, it does,
It moves.
Yep, keep people moving.
Gotcha. I have a question.
What does SHARE stand for? Is that an acronym?
It is an acronym, and I keep.
Actually, it's in the statement of principal points, but I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Sewing, post.
It's in the application.
Yeah.
I will pull that out.
Because my brain is.
State Health Alliance for Records Exchange.
I'm sorry?
State Health Alliance for Records Exchange. Oh, that's Arkansas.
While you're getting that together, I know you can't really put a number on the amount of people. I know that's hard to quantify.
If I had a crystal ball and
Right.
said this is all that we needed to serve, that
But-
would be. Sorry, if we had that crystal ball, that would be great to say, hey, we know we only have,
Right.
there's 75 families that need to be fed.
Yeah.
and these are the only ones that we need to do. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case, as the superintendent, you know, that testified when we were here last time was like, there's, you know, 300 kids out of the schools that are getting meals every day. So, I mean, if they're getting meals there, chances are they need
Right,
something.
and that was my concern with the fact
Is
that
if
there
it-
is a demand
Right,
already that
right.
exists in this
Right,
community of
right.
Springfield.
And
Not to
so-
extend it beyond based on what I see is what you can facilitate.
Well, and that's why it's also, I think, good that this is, you know, it isn't just Springfield Church. We're housing it there for now. This is a conglomerate of organizations. So if we get to the point where it's that big and we need to find some other place to do distributions or something like that, we have the ability to do that.
Yeah, so that leads into my actual question, which is, so you mentioned a few times about there's kind of organizations that you'll be working with, but I don't think those have been clarified. I think that's kind of what
I mean, we've been reached.
so
I
Share
mean,
Alliance is the church, the parishioners of the church, rather. Springfield, the greater
And
Springfield area, so that's Union,
Antioch
Milburn.
Church, the Renaissance Church,
Renaissance Church, okay.
the Rotary Club has a buy-in,
Rotary Club, okay.
and, so, I mean, you know, so. Huh? Oh, the Presbytery, you know, of,
Okay.
you know, also is involved in supporting this organization.
Okay.
We've been contacted by, you know, the Community Food Bank of New Jersey as being a potential outlet for them to give food to give out to people. Grace's up in Summit has reached out to us, and the YMCA out of Summit as well. We've been told would be good, that really are looking for people to partner with, because they know there's people that need help.
I think that helps to kind of paint more of a picture of how many people. Thank you.
I have a couple questions. If some, more than once, hope you're patient, please. A family shows up without an appointment. What would you, this is a multiple choice question, answer actually. A, would you just turn them away? B, would you find food for them? C, would you refer them to another food bank in the area for that day or the next day? What would you do in that situation?
I think I'd actually make a D if I had to, and get their information, and if we couldn't deliver it to them at this moment, to figure out some way that we would get it, bring it to them, so it would not impact what we were doing on site.
Right, so you would not be able, you want to, but you'd not be able to give them food for that day?
I mean,
All the food
obviously,
account-
if we could do that, that would be what you'd want to do. You don't want to say no to somebody if they're hungry. I mean, it just seems morally wrong
Okay.
to do that but I mean, if there's a line of, you know, too many people, you know, if there's 20 cars in line and, you know, you've got some family walking up to do that, it's not safe to do that. So it would be, get the information and give it to them. If there's nobody there and they show up, morally, I would feel like I would need to give them, because it's not going to cause any dire incident to, you know, the environment that we're in.
My second question may be a little more touchy. People of other religions, all right, have you reached out to the Muslim temple in Union on Morris Avenue? Have you reached out to local area synagogues in the area? Have you reached out to any other religious community in the area to let them know about this?
And I guess the other group that I forgot about is the Interfaith Council of Springfield. And they've been involved with this since the beginning. So, you know, that has, you know, we have reached out to that, and that they have been aware of what we've going. And I think some of the reason we ended up having to change and bring this back a year ago was because of that involvement with that organization and our feelings of, you know, how things were going at that point in time. But, you know, it was brought up last time too that, you know, yes, we've had to choose Saturday because that works best for the church. But in that instance, you know, we have considered having a kosher section. And if it couldn't be that the people could come at that point, they could certainly register and say, hey, we are in need. And we would make, you know, we would be able to make adjustments for that. Again, bringing it to them, or, you know, setting up a special time where it would be like one family coming to get it.
I think it's a very good idea, like the concept. It's a good thing. My concern is the growth and you guys not being prepared for the level of growth by word of mouth, because as much as you say they're not gonna advertise, that means no, like, nowadays, social media, like, it can get out there like this, and because of where you're located and the size of it and not limiting the appointments, I feel like it can just be very large, very fast. And we both agree that if someone does walk up, that moral factor of you can't say no to a starving family. You're not going to do that. I get that. But I think there needs to be some kind of controls in place to start this out. And then if you need to reevaluate, you do that. But otherwise, I think you're going to be overrun immediately.
Well, one of the things during the course of our conversations, the share board is very much aware that we have agreed to these limitations that we are proposing. We also, and they are also very much aware that should that growth occur rapidly, that we're going to have to be back before the board relatively quickly to amend the plan. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is what they're hoping for is that this program is going to be able to grow exponentially and that other facilities through the Share Alliance organization are going to participate by providing space just like the First Presbyterian Church has to allow for the first. Maybe it's going to be the only, but for the first of these types of uses.
Right, but I don't want to speak on anyone else's behalf, but I know me personally, I would need some type of like concrete number and plan, because the other thing is if it does go exponentially, you don't want to have to wait to come to propose in front of us, and then what do you shut yourself down for a little bit, and then you don't want that to happen. I think we need a plan.
Mr. Hudak and I actually, during the course of this, I'm going to call Mr. Hudak up because he's done some calculations and he has an estimate about how many people we'll be able to serve in the course of our 3 hours that we plan on being open on Saturday.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Please state your name, spell your last name, give us your business address.
Yes. Robert Hudak, Hudak, licensed professional planner, 1955 Route 34, Wall, New Jersey.
And
Is your license still current and in good standing?
Yes, it is. Thank you for asking.
All
You
right.
gotta have a little levity in these meetings.
I haven't asked that question, and I'm the one who's at risk if it's done, right?
You gotta have a little levity at these meetings. Yes.
Okay, great. So walk us through it.
Okay, so if you'll have a chance to look at the memorandum prepared by the Share Alliance, if you look at page 1, we talk about the 4 different services that we're looking to offer. First is the drive-through food distribution, which will occur on the first and third Saturdays of each month between the hours of 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. We're looking at a maximum total, and this will be in the resolution if the board is so inclined to approve this, a maximum of 7 volunteers will be there. And as I understand the way it will work is there will be boxed food available, and these will be brought out to folks in their cars. And based on what the Share Alliance has told me, we're looking at approximately 2 people or 2 vehicles that will be serviced, if you will, by the volunteers at any one time. Figuring it takes a few minutes to bring the food out, to check them in and such, I figure 15 minutes for round numbers. If you have 2 people coming in and it's at 15-minute intervals, you're talking about only about 8 cars an hour. So it's not like you're going to have 50 cars out there at any given time. And again, this is by appointment. So the Share Alliance will have the food ready to go, so to speak. It's not like they're going to be pulling cans off of the shelf as people drive in. They'll be prepared for it. So that also addresses some of the concern about people walking up there, because they'll have to prepare themselves to meet those clients as they come in. It's not simply like if someone comes in and then it's just a free-for-all, we just throw stuff in their car. They'll have it prepared and ready to go. So that's why the appointments are also important.
So you're saying for the first one, you would only serve 24 people?
Roughly, that's about what they would be able to serve, yeah, based on the number of people that they'd have available, based on the staff that they'll have, and on what they can handle. So it's a very small number. It's not like you're going to have a huge number of cars lined up.
When you say
specifically cars lined up, okay? That means nobody can walk up and get anything.
No.
Even if they made an appointment.
Well, they wouldn't be able to walk up. You're not going to carry a box of food home.
I'm just
That's
asking
my
because-
understanding of it.
Yeah, no,
Correct.
I'm just asking because somebody testified for this and specifically said that majority of the people and the one that she dealt with in Cranford and Linden had walk-ups.
See, the Cranford and Linden, the way that they operate, in Cranford, for
Yeah.
example, you actually walk in.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking,
Literally
yeah.
shop.
So
And
that's
you pick
week,
what you
that's
want.
week 2.
Right.
That's
And
a
that
separate
would
option.
That's when we get to option 2. We're
Yep.
still working through the issues with option
Yep.
1. But that is, that would not be for the initial stages, because the building is not open to anyone. It is for the Share Alliance to bring things out. And I just want to clarify what Bob just said. Bob indicated that he was under the impression that there would be about 2 vehicles that would be able to be serviced about the same time. So it's actually not 24, it would be 48 when you double it. That would be the total that we would be able to serve within the timeframe. And certainly we'll start there as far as the maximum number, what we would propose for phase 1. With regard to the other phases, obviously, because of the nature of what it is, that's a lot more time that these people will be spending inside, they'll be coming in, and again, the appointments are gonna be approximately 20 minutes apiece.
So after you hit the 48, are you turning off the website?
Well, the website's not actually.
Or the
if they-
appointment?
If they hit 48 on the website, they're gonna have to make a decision, of how to deal with the potential overflow by way of referring them to someone else, et cetera. But there will be no more than the maximum number of cars that this car space.
It's appointments, so the maximum number of appointments available. So it's sort of like if you go to your doctor's office. They have certain hours, they have so many appointments within that time. Once it's done, it's done. There's no additional appointments available. Someone will have to presumably sign up at a different week or go someplace else. That's the whole point of the appointments. We'll be able to limit that.
Where is the food being prepared to serve these people?
It's not prepared foods, it's canned foods,
But it's
perishable.
being assembled somewhere.
That's,
It's in here, I understand.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say where it's being prepared. I'm sorry?
The food is gonna be collected, we have shelves that, as we get collections in, that will be sorted onto, and then there's, in the parish house, in the dining room down there, there's tables that
So
will
it's
box
being
it
pre- It's being assembled
Assembled.
in the church,
in the parish house,
or
not
in
in.
the parish house?
Yes.
In bags.
In
You're bringing the
bags or
out,
boxes,
They're loading the
right.
car.
So, I mean, my understanding what you're trying to say, is, these cars aren't, it's gonna be ready to go. They come down, they, maybe 5 minutes per car, right? So if you've got 60 minutes in an hour, you,
So is the hours of preparation in addition to the 1 to 4?
yes, it's in the first part. If you look at the
Yeah,
food
I see-
delivery,
I see
yeah,
that.
it says 11 to 1. That would be the time that the
food is
bags are
being
put
assembled.
together, if you will.
And then then it would be even earlier than that for the food, for the boxes or the, well, the foodstuffs to be prepared to, or rather to be transported to the facility. It would have to be done before that so that you can assemble it between between 11 and 1.
We're not always getting it on Saturday.
no, we might not always get it on Saturday, but the other thing is we've got to get it all collected before, so the Saturdays before we have our first open, we will start filling the bank, filling it. So on the Saturdays that it's not happening, all the food is put into place, and some of that between that 11 and 1 on any Saturday morning, where you'll have 7 people, which is, again, nowhere near what the parking issue is.
What
We'll
I'm
be able
saying
to
is
come
that
in.
the hours have to be expanded to encompass that assembly.
Well,
No, that's when it's being assembled. I want to
Right,
know when it's,
but,
how the warehousing works and how it gets.
well, you got to
there
realize,
and
we're
when
going to
it
have to
gets
warehouse before the first event, right? So before the shelves will start to get filled, so the shelves will be filled. They may be getting new food that day, may not, the day of the delivery. So we will already have food there, so those 2 hours will be when we'll be putting the stuff
Gotta be
together.
at some other time, or most of it, some of it at
No,
least.
no, it wouldn't have to. It could be any Saturday between 11 and 1. And we would,
It's being brought there between 11 and 1 and canned and boxed and doing whatever?
people will be there, could be there between 11 and 1 and stacking the shelves or filling bags as we know who's coming for that given week.
So you're collecting food
All the time.
all the
Churches are
time
always collecting
and
food.
prior.
Yes.
So this food could be delivered to the parish house anytime during the week?
Which means people have to be there to receive it.
Trucks, but, I mean, if we were getting something from like Grace or from some other, or, you know, community food bank, that would have to be scheduled, and that would be scheduled on a Saturday between 11 and 1 when nobody else was doing anything at the church. There's no other activities, no other people to worry about.
So you're not gonna be getting this food during the week, I say on a Thursday or a Friday or a Wednesday?
People can drop off food
Well, they
at
could drop off food to
church,
church, I understand that, that's not.
but I
usual.
don't see trucks coming unless.
Oh, no,
it was already-
in your memo, you wrote down vans, which is, vans were, you know, very small trucks or vans, that's okay. But I'm guessing that, or I'm trying to understand what Steven's trying to get at is, the food is going to be brought to the parish house that Saturday morning? No. It's going to be there.
It's gonna, this is all canned, non-perishables.
Right.
So there's no real food preparation or anything. So the collection will occur at the various, presumably Share Alliance members' facilities. So if it's at the Presbyterian Church, they're doing a food drive, or if it's the Interfaith Council doing a food drive wherever else, those foodstuffs will be brought to the parish house between 11 and 1 on the Saturday. And then they'll be organized, and you have 7 volunteers, and you're not going to have that much food per se. It'll only take a little while to organize it, and then it'll be distributed. That's it. It's not as though we're simply going to, from my understanding, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no food preparation. They'll put the bags together and call it a day.
Sorry. go ahead.
Now, my simple question, is 11 to 1 going to be enough time to do all this? Well, what I'm saying is,
I mean, if you have every Saturday to do it and you're getting ready for it, it's very possible to do that. And the only thing that I think that would be coming in that day is that if we do get something arranged with like the community food bank, or people want to bring stuff that's going to be perishable for that day, we would have them bring that morning to add to the bags. But it would be adding, not creating new.
Oh, and my question was, the Share Alliance, do you ever utilize that space besides on Saturdays, like to collect and organize? I'm not saying a whole group, like 1 or 2 of you, like, is that?
I mean, we
space
have
ever
meetings
used?
in that building, so I mean, yeah, it could be that, you know,
Okay.
2 people might come over to try to go through it, because occasionally then you also do have to go through and make sure the dates are all good and all this, if you manage to get enough, stuff like that, and,
So you have access to the.
yeah,
other
we have access to be able to do that.
How many parking spots are on the Share Alliance side where you'll be distributing the food?
There's what, 17?
17 is,
Okay, so now I have 7 volunteers parking their cars. And then every hour I have 16 cars.
That are driving through, they're not parking in a parking spot.
Well, you said the slot takes 15 minutes and it could take 5 minutes to give it to them.
I'm giving them a
I'm
generous
trying
amount of
to,
time.
to figure out technically how this works. So I would like everyone to be very clear about it. They're driving through and lining up. So now are they lining up on the street?
No. we
To
have
drive
the-
through?
They have the parish house has a drive around the building. So you have. the
But you
cars
have
checked-
16 cars.
That are gonna be spaced. You'd only have 3 or 4 cars slotted for any 15-minute time slot, say. Right? So they're supposed to come at that point.
Okay, but every 15 minutes, you're accounting for 2 cars. So let's start from the beginning.
I don't think it actually
It's not
works
8,
like that.
because what they just said is that it's 2 cars for every time slot, so every hour it's multiplied.
By 2.
It's by 2. Wait, 15, so 15 minutes or 5 minutes? Wait, we did double it. Why did we double it? You're right, it's 8.
We said to double it.
That's
I
8.
don't-
Yeah,
8
because-
cars every hour doesn't make sense.
Well,
If you've ever been
So here's
through-
what
So
I'm
how many-
understanding from the loop. From what you showed us last time,
Mm-hmm.
I had them driving down the street, going around the thing, you have a volunteer at the end, they pop open their trunk, you put in the bag, and they're driving away. So where did the 15 minutes come from, and how did you only get 8?
Yeah,
That was the testimony that was just given.
Well, the reason why I said that was because folks would presumably have to come into the site. I presume that the car would be stopped the 2 cars would be stopped in the back. Food would have to be brought out from the facility, put in their car, and then they'd have to, I guess, sign off or whatever they need to do, and then drive off. Is that how this is? I guess the question is really, and I don't want to be presumptuous here, how is it going to function? Because we keep saying that what the board, I presume, wants to know is how many vehicles are going to be traversing through here per hour?
Correct. Thank you.
And they want to know how it's going to queue.
right, so I would say we're looking at least 20 to 25 cars per hour. And how I see it working is that we would have somebody at the top of the driveway where you would sign in that this is where you are, so that you can either, if they're not, you tell them to turn around. If we're not able to serve them that day and get their information, the rest of them then go down. At the bottom of the hill is where we have it set up to put the food in their car, so they come down, they say, here, I'm here, this is how many people, we bring out the bag, put it in their car, and then they drive out, and they're out of the way.
So now we're at 20 to 25 cars per hour. Let's just start with 20. Let's say it's 20, okay? You're setting up your appointments, and you're telling 20 people that they could come within that hour. And if they all come at once, you have 20 cars queued.
I think if that needs to be, then you divide that up into, the 15-minute, your time slot is between 12 and 12:15, say, or 1 and 1:15.
Do we know how many cars will fit going down that street? Without having the backlog onto Mars Avenue? I don't know based on, because I know where it's like 45, I'm trying to think of 37 Church Mall.
Here's the slide over here, Morris Avenue's all the way over here.
So could 20 cars lined up on that street without issue?
Cars could actually line up in the property.
Another, okay.
So the mechanics of this, somebody pulls up, there's a registration so I pull up there and I'm not registered.
Right.
And I'm hungry and I want food. Do you say you need to leave? Like, how does that work?
Well, as we've answered before to this, is that, if it's in the middle of whatever's going on, we can get their information and say, we can't give you anything now. How can we get this to you later and deal with it separately so that
let's
it's
say
not
you do
not interfering with what we're trying to do?
No, that's the next
How does
phase.
that not interfere with your zooming through here with people? If somebody stops, I gotta register, you gotta tell you where to go and stuff like that.
Well, because going down that street, you can go down the hill and around, which is where we have everybody else. And if you haven't registered, then they pull off to the one side, so that continues to move. You get their information and they turn
So
around and then.
potentially there'll be some more cars of people who have not registered that are pulling up.
I can't say who's gonna be there or not.
Well, from the position of, like, I think a lot of us are feeling like, how do we somehow control that? That all of a sudden there's not 50 cars there, people looking for food, what happens?
The concern is safety and traffic. You have a development going up where there's going to be a lot more residents, and you have a development next to it. So what we're trying to understand, while we are all in agreement, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I've heard everyone's opinion or, beliefs or opinions on the board. We're all in agreement that this is a good thing. We're just trying to understand how it will work so that we don't have a safety and traffic issue in that area. So you have an appointment system. Let's talk about this first phase again. You have 3 hours of time allotted for the drive-through.
Yes.
I also would like to ask a question of our planner about whether or not, if this is a drive-through that people are picking up food and there will be a kitchen and cooking component on site, if we actually have to talk about a use for a drive-through?
We're not giving them prepared food.
This is a not-for-profit, it's not a for-profit business, so I wouldn't say it's a drive-through.
Okay, thank you. So you have an appointment system online, and people are going to register. How are those appointments gonna be allotted? It's gonna be every 15 minutes? Was that the testimony? you're going to have certain appointments with 20 cars, 4, is it, I'm terrible at math. 5, thank you. 5 every 15 minutes is gonna be the time slot, is that correct?
I thought they were just opening a window originally.
Well, the window is gonna result in many cars lining up on the property.
But it's gonna be very hard for me to say somebody gets stuck in traffic and they're not gonna make, I mean,
No, I know, but our concern is someone's gonna get hit by a car.
well,
Is the window,
that should have been, well,
is the window that people sign up broadly from 1 to 4, or is it in a smaller increment?
it's in a smaller increment.
Okay.
So it'll be either by the hour or by the half
And
hour.
I get you
Okay.
doing it by the hour, and then if you need to renegotiate to half an hour, I fully
You know, I
get
mean,
that.
right.
It's just, I'm thinking these cars are lining up, senior community's coming out, and you're gonna have a collision because of the movement of people.
Plus with that new development going up, you're
a
gonna get a lot of people who live in that development driving in and out the same time as your people are driving in. I mean, I'm just possibility, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it is possible that you're gonna have, let's say, all your 20 cars or more show up within the first 10 minutes. I mean, it could happen, you just don't know. And as you said yourself, you really don't know how this is gonna work out. So let's say people signed up between 1 and 2 o'clock, but all 20 cars are there by 1:15 or earlier, and they're waiting for you to open up, and they're lined up on the street, and there's people who live in the apartments that are going up there, going down that same street, and I've been on Church Mall more times than I care to think about, and it's a decently wide street, but if you get cars, they could be double parked there, waiting to get in, you get cars, all the cars showing up at once. It's possible, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it is possible that you get a traffic mess. And I think that's what a lot of us here are thinking, that it's possible. What does your planner have to say about that?
If I may, because we are all talking in the hypothetical.
Of course.
We have no idea how this is actually going to work. We have no idea what the demand is actually going to be. We're basing a lot of this on other programs that we've observed, the program in Summit and the like. The plan as it has been developed and is continuing to develop is based upon, obviously, the concerns of the board as well as trying to meet the needs of the individuals involved. So we can design the appointment system for appointments at 15-minute intervals, limit them to no more than 4 appointments within that 15-minute interval. We also can use the resources that are available to us through the community. For example, when we first get off the ground and get this open, we will, in all likelihood, request some police presence to assist us, because again, we do not know what is going to be. Crowd control is not what Share Alliance is all about. So we would look to the municipality and the professionals to assist us if necessary. And clearly, that is something that will need to be coordinated as we move forward with this. So we would add to the discussion that we will be communicating with Springfield and the police department in an effort to make sure that the concerns that are being raised by the board don't happen. So that's what we can do. What I would ask, Madam Chairwoman, is we could have about 5 minutes, because I think between Mr. Hudak and Chris and some other members, I think they want to put their heads together so that they can come back with a more succinct answer to some of the questions that we have. I think Chris has been put on the spot. So.
Can I assume that your numbers, as have been parlayed back and forth, assume that there will be no deliveries of food between the time that it's open to the public to receive food?
I would believe that would be the case, because the volunteers and everybody else are focused on the delivery of the food at that moment. They wouldn't be focusing on the receipt.
But we both agree.
But
it's
we
gotta
can
get
put
in
that
there
in as a
somehow.
restriction and a limitation as well.
It's 7:53. We're going to go off the record. Are we good to go back on? Thank you. Okay, it is 8:03 and we're back on the record. Mr. Herman?
Madam Chairwoman, members of the board, we still have a lot to unpack of the conversation today. There are certain aspects of this that I think we need the police department to weigh in on, and we're going to take the plan to the police department, ask the police department for their comments. Obviously, that would be voluntary on the part of the police department of providing that to us. But I think that is a place to start, especially when we're talking about safety and the like. Some other parts of the discussion that came up, while they didn't come up before you, they've come up outside. We did have the website up at one time. The website's been taken down. What we're going to do is we're going to redesign the website. We're going to put it on a beta test so that it's not going to go live, but we're going to show the board the next time we're here what the website's going to look like and how
Great.
people are going to need to click, right? We're going to formalize some more of these operations that we're talking about, specifically how we're going to deal with someone who is coming who does not have an appointment. What is the plan for that? What we're trying to do now is we're trying to develop this in such a way to satisfy a lot of different concerns. And I think that with the feedback that we've gotten today, and I believe we met all the feedback that we got at the last meeting, but with the feedback we've gotten today as to some more of these refinements, we are therefore asking this to be carried for an additional 1 month so that we can prepare some additional documentation to provide. Again, go to the police department, have those conversations with the police department. Hopefully we'll get good feedback from them and be able to have either a memorandum of support provided by the police department. And again, we're going to ask them to assist us in the training of the volunteers as well. Again, as I indicated before, we're talking about crowd control at times. These are volunteers. They're going to need to have some support from people who understand what could potentially happen here. It's interesting because those of you who don't know, I used to work for Mr. Bergen in Union County. And when we did the food drives at Union County, we spent hours putting those together. We had packing in the Boys and Girls Club where we had county employees actually packing boxes days at a time to prepare for those types of events. So with that experience, the one thing that I do want to indicate to the board, the deliveries to the site, which we did talk about last time, those are not really going to be on the Saturdays. Those are going to be for the volunteers to collect it and bring it at various times during the course of the week. So until we get into the situation where we have the Community Food Bank of New Jersey co-sponsoring an event where they bring in their truck with all the fresh produce and the like, we're going to be on a much more limited scale with regard to this. And that's a good thing too, because when we kick it off, we're going to have this limited kickoff, almost like a stress test. And then we'll be able to see how it will progress. If it is determined that we do need to come back and revamp it at that time after we open and stress test, et cetera, of course we would. And we would welcome you all to come when we're open so that you could see it for yourself and provide that feedback. Because again, this is a project that is going, I think this project personally, not that we're all getting that old, but I know several of us, we're kind of in our last 2 or 3 decades, right? This is a program that's, we hope that's going to outlive everyone in the room. So it should be designed appropriately, and we're going to take that opportunity with your permission to come back next month and talk about this again.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. I think that's an excellent idea, and we look forward to seeing what you have to present. I will need a motion to carry.
Madam Chair, can I just make a quick recommendation or just observation?
Yes, please.
Mr. Merman, when you come back and just hearing the comments from the board and just in terms of the operations and how we can handle the traffic, I think you maybe have a maximum number of appointments per each phase you're doing. I think that would be a level of control where the board could maybe feel comfortable saying, all right, these are the number of appointments, this is the amount of traffic we're gonna see. So I think that would be something that would be helpful to explain that to the board.
That's why we have to actually sit down and go through the model, et cetera, and figure this all out. Because I could stand here and say 60 cars in 3 hours. It sounds like a good number. It sounds like something that we can handle. I want to make sure that we can handle that. But that's kind of the number where we've been looking, Mr. Baylor, is about 60 cars at a max.
But is that cars or appointments? So,
Well, that would be appointments.
Okay.
I'm equating a car.
Because it's an appointment system. You keep on saying it's an appointment system, so the way it could be controlled by the number of appointments. Okay.
And so at this point, we are contemplating 4 per every 15 minutes. It would be kind of where we're thinking. But we're going to go back. We're actually going to look at this and maybe even do a little time test to see how long it would take for somebody to pick up the box and walk to a car. So we're going to do all that. We're going to do a little bit more legwork. If we are not in a position, Madam Chairwoman, to make a full presentation at the board's next meeting, I will advise the board accordingly. We don't want to take a slot up at your next meeting if we're not going to be ready to proceed. So I'm going to be meeting with my team over the next several days. And unfortunate part of this is that I do celebrate the Jewish holidays, so I'm losing half a week next week and half a week the following week. So hopefully by about 14 days from now, I will have a better idea of when we'll be able to solidify all the things that we're talking about, and I will communicate with Ms. Lawrence accordingly.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, before you do, is it your request that you be adjourned to October 21st at this time?
Yes.
Okay, and then that would be without further notice?
That would be without further notice, and obviously, if we're not able to make that, we will advise accordingly and ask that it be carried again without further notice, or maybe a member of my team will be here to make the request in person.
Thank you.
You're up now. Yes, carried to October 21st, 2025, 6 PM in this room. Second?
Second.
Mr. Schewitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hochstein?
Yes.
Mr. Wexstein?
Yes.
Mr. Birchenbaum? Yes. Ms. Nazarano? Yes. Vice Chair Cunningham?
Yes.
And Chair Coe.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Urban.
Thank you all.
Any further business?
Just, again, for the record, any member of the public here for that application, it will be back at the next meeting without further notice. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.